So, if you would please put your hands together for a meditation reading. Above heaven and below heaven, I alone am the world honored one. The first word spoken by the baby, Prince Siddhartha, later to be known as Shakyamuni Buddha. If you would please join me in Gasho silently. Thank you. Namo Amidas. Namo Amidas. Namo Amidas. Namo Amidas. Namo Amidas. Everyone loves birthdays. We celebrate it every year. 1 year older, except, when we hit that certain age, then we tell everybody, we either go into denial or we stay 30 years old. I've been 30 years old forever. So I'm still 30, and people go, I don't think so. I don't want to hear about it. But we do love birthdays. We get presents, we get cakes, we get to eat ice cream. But today is a special day. Today, we observe Hanamatsuri, which literally means flower festival. Okay? But it's also the birthday of Prince Siddhartha, later to become enlightened and become Shakyamuni Buddha. So the story goes, once upon a time, there was a king, Suddhodana, and his wife, Queen Maya. And they were married for 20 years, and they remained childless. And the king wanted an heir to the throne, and Queen Maya wanted a child to care and love for her own. As a traditional story goes, everyone has heard stories about this. Queen Maya had a dream. And she dreamt a white elephant. Some say gray elephant. Some say white elephant. Some say with 2 tusks. Some say with 6 tusks. So the traditional story changes all the time, depending on what region you go into. But she dreamt of an elephant. And this elephant entered her right side. Next morning, the queen woke, and she was with child. Well, the story's getting a little weirder now, so be patient. But while she was out with the king, and she was with child, a sage or monk walked up to him, and he told the king and queen, your child, and he said specifically, your son, will either become a great ruler and leader of the clan, or he will become a great monk. Of course, the king didn't want to hear about that because he wanted someone to rule his land when he was ready to give it up. So, as custom, Queen Maya would return to her parents' home to await the delivery of her child. Queen Maya happened to stop at Lumbini Garden, which was in midsummer season. But mysteriously, the garden was in full bloom. Lumbini Garden, full bloom, beautiful flowers. And as she reached to pluck or touch the blossom of the Asoka tree, her child was born from the right side. Told you it's getting weirder. The earth shook in 6 directions, and a light, sweet rain fell from the sky to bathe the child. Our sweet rain will fall on the child. Aha! Now you're getting it. Okay. This newborn would take 7 steps. 7 steps. And these 7 steps represented suffering or human bondage. These 7 realms are humans, which causes suffering. Animal of their ignorance. Hungry ghost shows us unhappiness or our greed. Heavenly beings, which is a realm of enjoyment. The demigods are warlike beings, and that shows our anger. And then we have hell, which is our torment. And the 7th step he took represented enlightenment. So far, good? The king named his child Siddhartha, which means every wish fulfills. However, sadness and suffering comes to the family, to the clan, for Queen Maya passes 7 days after giving birth to her son. But Siddhartha lived a life of riches and luxury. He had everything, anything he ever wanted. He even married a woman named Princess Yasodhara. Yasodhara, sorry. And they had a child named Rahula. But you know what? He was still restless. Siddhartha was restless over the sorrows of life, and he wanted to seek answers. So the day his son was born, Siddhartha renounced his rule to the kingdom. He gave up everything. He left family, he left all the riches and luxuries, and went out to seek the answers to these sufferings. He was restless over the sorrows of life, which is old age, sickness, and death. At the age of 21 years old, he leaves home to seek the solutions to this restlessness. He studied 6 years as an ascetic monk, meaning he practiced all the kinds of meditations and study. And it was hard work. In fact, it was said that he starved himself. He would eat, catch this, he would only eat 1 grain of rice a day. A day. 1 grain does not get me anywhere. And yet he still did not find his solutions to his restlessness. So he sat under the Bodhi tree and he found the path of enlightenment. Being the enlightened one, his clan called him Shakyamuni Buddha. It's a beautiful story. I love this story. But it is a little beyond belief at times. And it's not the story that really counts, it's what's the message of the birth of Siddhartha is. And it's merely used to express or describe the birth of an extraordinary being who lived on 1 grain of rice a day, who could take 7 steps as soon as he was born, When he was born, sweetened tea fell over him to bathe him. Okay. But you know what? We continue to listen and hear the teachings that he left us. He suffered through his suffering. He suffered through his finding answers for us. And we sit here today listening to the teachings so that we can find our answers to our restlessness. Today, if we really think of what we have gone through our lives, and what recently with the virus and the vaccines, you know, we can only share Namo Amida Butsu in gratitude and thankfulness for at least one solution to the virus. Yet, what of the other sufferings we face each and every day? Where is the answers to that? Where did the answers come from? Not me. It does not come from me. Spring is bringing us warmer weather and a new beginning. But we are still challenged and always fall into one of the 6 realms, or combination of 6 realms. There's no way of getting out of these realms. We suffer no matter what. Sometimes it's our anger. And when we have anger, we lash out because we don't think, we don't hear, we don't realize what we are doing. So when we are able to take the 7th step into enlightenment, I ask you, when will it be? How long will it take? Will we ever reach enlightenment? Answers only you can find solutions to. I bring up all these questions because when we leave here, we don't think about things. We go on. Today is also another holiday. I won't mention it. Some people get offended, but today's another holiday. And today is going to be a nice day. Maybe we want to go out and have fun. Some people are on, some of the students are on spring break. No school. Yes, I can do whatever I want. But how many times do we sit and just think why we have this suffering? Why do I have to suffer? Where's my greed coming from? Where's my anger coming from? This is self-thinking. This is beginning to know who we are and finding answers where those emotions are coming from. But during all this time, we still have Namo Amida Butsu. And this Namo Amida Butsu, or Nembutsu, gives us guidance, patience, and direction. We have to only stop and think. Whoa, what's that word? You know, I have to admit, I've been having pandemic fog. And my brain goes kind of wacko sometimes because I forget what I'm talking about sometimes. Or I forget, I'm talking directly to a person, I'll forget their name. So I call it pandemic fog because of the isolation. And I had to really stop and silently inside, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, and say Namo Amida Butsu. And then it comes to me. So I do go through fog. So I had to listen and I had to continue to read and remember my teachings. And the first one that comes to mind is the golden chain. Easy. I don't remember the other ones. I don't remember the other gathas. Three treasures? Too long. But the golden chain is sweet, short, easy to remember. So we just had to learn to seek our own answers. Seek it in any way you can. And if it's silently to sit, and you don't have to put your hands together in gasho, but you can always just think, Namo Amidas, Namo Amidas, Namo Amidas. And it gives us that little bit of time so that we can relax, find the patience, and find answers to our questions. Don't use it at Chumash. It doesn't work. Surprise! But today, we renew ourselves. We renew our sense of what Siddhartha went through to become the Buddha. And it was hard work, and it was a lot of suffering, and it was sorrow. But he made it. And he says that we all also can do and become a Buddha ourselves. So the story is a hopeful story that we too can become Buddhas. So today, as you bathe the Buddha, please put your hands together and say thank you for giving us the lessons that we must learn to listen to. So if you would please put your hands together in gasho. Namo Amidas, Namo Amidas, Namo Amidas, Namo Amidas, Namo Amidas, Namo Amidas.